Hey, good morning everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Conquer the Hosses. This is my first video back from Christmas and New Year's break. Happy New Year. Donna, Emily, and I and Grant went down to a New Year's Eve wedding down in Florida. So the guys drove down, the girls flew. We met them there, and we just drove back last night. So we had a great time. I visited a friend of mine down in Naples, and had a real good time on his boat. So it was fun to get away. It's always good to be home though. Today, I'm changing these brakes. These trailers really take a beating. The machinery on them, bouncing behind the truck, and it's dangerous. You gotta keep a close eye on them as far as inspection, make sure all the lights work, and very importantly, tires and brakes. Make sure your tires and brakes are good. Just had to change this back tire and new brakes on it. So we're good on both sides here. Let's talk about how I do this, and what I found to be the best and easiest way is to just buy a whole new unit. Now you can buy these complete. New magnets, springs, hardware, cables, everything, all brand new, and backing plate. So that's how they show up, ready to just bolt on the trailer. Now these magnets are wired in to the trailer, and as soon as you step on the brake, it sends current to this magnet, and it engages on the hub. So you can see how they get worn, and now they're not even, so they don't work as good as a new one. You can see how the springs get all crudted up. This one's not too bad, but they do, you know, they're behind the debris from the truck, they're into the debris of the trailer, so these things really get caked up. So you can see this shoe is pretty good. This one's about half life, maybe just under half. Here's what a new one looks like. So you want to catch these before you damage your hub. These are about 80 bucks complete. You're going to have more than that if you buy the shoes and magnet, disassemble, reassemble. You're going to have more than that. So it's cheaper to buy them this way, and you get everything new. So let's go ahead and get this off, and I'll show you what it looks like broken down. So before I go to time lapse, trailer is jacked up. Give these tires a spin. They want to spin nice and free. You can hear a little bit of play in the bearing, not much. You don't want those bearings tight where they're going to overheat. Just snug. Very little movement there. So that tells me the bearing's good, and I'll examine that a little bit more as I get that off. Just wanted to touch on that before I take the tire off. There you have it, just down to the metal on this one. So it's important to keep these all adjusted up evenly. These are automatic slack adjusters. As you back up, it engages this foot to keep the brake snug. Doesn't appear that it hurt. Oh, there's a groove there. Doggone it. Okay. So there's a little ridge in that one. Missed it by about a month, and this one's real nice and smooth. Okay, let's get these off and new ones on. Now what I like to do I cut the wire right here and I make my connection inside the hub, not back here. I like to keep my connections, that way it's a little bit more protected. Give these a cut. Now I can poke that out and then I'll put it right back through the new one. Okay, let's just touch base real quick. 5 bolts and this whole unit comes off, laying right there. New one goes on. What I did show in the camera, hopefully you caught that, anti-seize. I use this on just about everything. Now, in 5 years, whenever I want to redo this, these bolts will come right off and I can do this all over again without breaking these studs. Now the old wire, I poke through there and there's a little keeper. It's a little tricky. I just position it right back into the same hole and just give it a little tap right on the edge and it usually clips right in. If you take these off of the wire, boy, are they a bear to get on the wire and through that hole. Doable, but I like to leave these on originally and do that. Now I'll cut these wires and you can see I'll do my butt connector, heat shrink, all that right inside here. Now it's more protected rather than having a splice back here. Okay, I'll get through this here pretty quick. So these are my old wires, here are the new ones. Just leave a little bit extra, maybe about I don't know, a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, just overlap wire. Now I just take my strippers and pull back a little bit of wire or shielding. Like that. And then the old wire, same way, repeat. Sorry about the crummy camera angle if I'm not getting it. I don't like using the headset in here. I bounce around too much. But I think I'm getting a good bit of it. One more. There we go. Okay. Now, to me, it's easier to do this with no gloves. Give those a nice tight twist. Now I'm using heat shrink butt connectors, and then I want to shrink some tubing on that when I'm all said and done. So make sure I put that on before I forget it, because I have forgotten that before. And then you either decide, do I cut it and slip it on or not use it, or start all over. Okay. Slide that over. Make sure all your wire goes inside there. And you want to use the right tool. These are crimpers that crimp it evenly around. Give those a slight pull because they're going to be bouncing around in here. You don't want them coming off. Now with our connector wire, do the same thing. A nice tight twist. And then you can feed the whole wire right inside there. Make sure you're in all the way. And your final crimp. A slight tug tells me everything's secure. And repeat. Okay. Now, keeping a little bit of separation between them, go ahead and mount it. Am I not plugged in? There we go. See how the end just melts right around that? I don't want them melting together. Let that cool a second. And then slip this right over. Now I just have a little bit more protection right inside there. And it is that easy. That'll just kind of float in there. Okay, let's go and get the hub back on. Like I said earlier, this is where the magnet rides on, so you want to make sure that there's no ridges in this and clean and free of debris. So what I do, I just take some brake cleaner, clean out those pockets. See all that material coming out of there? You have everything else new on here. You just want to do this in a well ventilated area. Let that drain. Now I'll just wipe that all clean. There's a slight ridge on here. I'm not going to replace this. If it was a car or a truck, I think I would replace it. This is our power buggy trailer. I think we're just fine. All right, let me get this wiped up. Ready to go back on. Okay, so with my new wheel bearing grease, I did the spindle, I repacked that bearing, and then assembled it all, keeping this all very clean. Now this is finger tight right here, it's snug, so go ahead and give that some spins, and then retighten. Now that's freeing. Now that's tight. I'm going to stop there. I'll put the tire on and I'll get it set just where it spins nice and free with very, very little to no drag. I'll go ahead and get this one broke down and get everything to that point. Talk to you real soon. Maybe we want to go pour some concrete. Oh my gosh. Well, you can't even see my house. Barely see the trucks. I just parked that about an hour ago. Nah, I think I'll stay in here the rest of the day. How's that sound? Okay. Ready to put the tires on, tighten up those castle nuts, and this trailer is ready for inspection. Days like today, man, I'm really glad I have this shop. Okay. Grease, or I have this tube of anti-seize. And I think this works better than WD. WD seems to dry and go away. This will always stay underneath there. So just a little bit. And I have new bottles that I don't use for this, and then I use my older bottles for this kind of stuff. That way it doesn't matter if I get debris in the brush and then back in the jar. Now if I'm putting together an engine or a pump or something, I would want a new bottle of that. Okay, and again, inspecting the tires, good tread on these, no slices, no bubbles, good for maybe half the season to 3/4 of the season. And get these started. I'll get through this quick. We're almost done. And then there's something I wanted to talk to you about as far as the connectors I use on my wires. Now when you buy the assembly kit like I did today, they give you, I can't talk and do this at the same time, I guess. There's a little burr on that. There we go. So they give you these little push connectors. Now if you take this apart, there's a little knife right here. The wire goes between that and it cuts into there and splices that wire together. I guess these are good. We didn't have these growing up. We always used butt connectors. I used these one time when I was putting lights together, put it together, and I had to pull it apart, and it cut through, maybe not quite half of the wire, but it cut through some of the wire. So I didn't really like what I saw there, cutting the wires, splicing it together. Butt connector, heat shrink it. I've had good luck with that. What are your thoughts, people? Do you like these push connectors, or do you like the butt connectors, or am I just being too old school maybe? Give me some feedback on that, would you? Heck, maybe these are better than butt connectors. I just didn't get that feeling from it. Okay. I'll quit talking so I can get these lugs on. Okay, new cotter pin. I don't know that you have to always use a new one. Probably get a couple bends out of them. This one, go. Free of debris. My other trailer has grease fittings on here. I like being able to shoot a little bit of grease in there. Okay. And that's how we change brakes. Okay, trailer's ready to be pulled out. I'm gonna get the other truck in here and we'll do a clean and service on that. These videos don't really get a tremendous amount of views, but I do enjoy doing them. I like showing how you can save a buck, how you can be safer going down the road. Maybe you wouldn't attempt this if you had to change the brakes without buying the kit. So I showed you that you can do this, buying the kit and saving money rather than buying the magnet and the brake separate. I have about $350 wrapped up into 4 brake kits, and that gave me complete new brakes on the whole trailer. What would it cost to take it to a garage, have it done? Probably double, you know, if not a little bit more. So that's what I want this channel to be known for. Something that helps somebody out there figure out how to do something.